Waiting, all's what's waiting. Let me find something. Oh yeah, I forgot I had a whole nother tab thing. Here's the tabs I had for the. What is that? Okay, let's watch this real quick. We're just playing now.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday to you on this November 18th, 2025. I got all of your stories for your rush hour ride to work, and we've got updates from Candace Owens. She's breaking the internet as she's taking matters into her own hands, investigating Charlie Kirk's murder. Well, now she's bringing the Egyptian planes back into the mix. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, stick around. We're going to break down the more interesting moments from her show last night. Then, speaking of conspiracies, we'll also cover the Epstein files. President Trump is now saying he's telling everybody to release the files, but we're going to hear from some key members of the political universe who claims this is all BS. They are set to vote on the release of these files. Will there be any shenanigans played before that happens? Yet to be seen. So let's dive right into Candace. Say what you want about her, but she, again, is not waiting for the government to conduct their investigation. Calls it Operation Mocking Plane. And she's going to discuss the new information that a mommy sleuth has found, which is tying Egyptian military aircraft to not just Charlie Kirk.
Listen, was he just talking shit about mommy sleuths? I know he wasn't talking shit about mommy sleuths. Because mommy sleuths have solved some pretty amazing crimes. You know what? I'm going to do a whole video on that. Crimes that mommy sleuths have solved, or missing person cases. I know there's a bunch of them because I've read that headline so many times. You know, armchair detective mother, solves murder case, whatever. Those are cool. So don't talk shit about mommy sleuths.
But more so his wife, Erica Kirk. What's this all about? We don't have the answers, but I have to say it's quite interesting to say the least. Usually when Candace comes out with some bold theory, a million people online will break it down. And if there's anything that refutes this theory, she gets the time codes wrong or the date, people will let us know. So just for my own sake, reminding you guys, this isn't information that's been vetted. This is presented by Candace. This idea that on the day that Charlie Kirk was murdered, there was a military aircraft at one of the local airports. But not only that, this aircraft was actually known by Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk's company. So Candace is making pretty bold claims that they are lying by omission for not letting her and the public know that they were aware these planes were following.
Dude, do you really think Candace would put that out there if she didn't verify every single thing? There's like 3 things she says, like, no, I haven't verified this. It's almost there. She waits. And then she plants seeds, and she sees who waters those seeds of suspicion and doubt. And she plants all those seeds, and she waits to see who will come nurture them with their little lies and the little tidbits and their little sneaky deaky little freaky things. You know what I mean? So I don't like this guy.
The Kirks, have a listen.
Then, of course, that made me only look further into the Egyptian planes, and I discovered that the planes had been tracking Charlie. We showed you guys this, right? We created this document and we organized it, SUBND being the blue plane, and then tail number SUBTT being the yellow plane.
BTT.
That seems to have struck even more fear into the nest of mockingbirds. In fact, they sent Mother
And she goes
Mockingbird
like-
out, Ben Shapiro, to make the exact same wild allegation out of thin air that I said something specifically about Erica when I had not. Again, I'll ask the question.
So Candace has basically said that those around Charlie have either turned on him or they let him down in one way or another. She's making the claim that they either knew about this murder for hire that was going to take place, or they were somehow involved in that, which is a heavy claim to make. But at the same time, the story given out by the government that there was this crazy lone gunman who was this far left lunatic, that story hasn't lived up as far as the lies uncovered due to the type of bullet they claimed was used, which would have, absolutely decimated any human being, shot from that range. So I'm at the place now, because people might say, Dave, why are you covering this? Blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm at the place now where this is the biggest conspiracy of our time, this and the Epstein files, which we'll also cover. But this is wildly interesting. And to live in a time where someone like Candace Owens, who was not only close friends with Charlie, at least at a time, it's debated how close they were at the time of his death, but to think that she's taking matters into her own hands. Trust me when I say the comment section on Candace Owens' social media is obliterating her. People saying, you've covered this for 30 episodes. You've proven nothing. You hated Charlie. Charlie knew that you were going to be haunting him. One thing after another. And again, are these real people? Are they jealous? Do they believe that Candace is exploiting the death? Maybe. I personally I think this, look, I think if Candace wants to spend her time and energy covering this, who knows? There's a scenario in which she uncovers one of the greatest conspiracies of our time.
That's right.
Or maybe she's chasing shadows and there's nothing there. We'll have to see when this thing goes to trial. But it is true, at the very least, that lies have been thrown around.
All right, Dave, you saved
locked
yourself,
into this.
Dave. Dave just saved his ass. You know why? Because I was going to give him a big no subscribe. Yeah, that's how you pay these dudes back. I know people pay me back. I talk about God, unsubscribe. I lose like 40 subscribers. I mean, that's okay though. If they don't want to hear a crazy guy mention God and Jesus and salvation every once in a while, then I don't know. I guess I'm not that good of a shepherd.
Investigation discovered something that me and my team had missed. I consider her, obviously, and all of you to be my decentralized intelligence agents. Anyway, she sent me a rather urgent email, and I'm obviously protecting her identity for reasons that are clear. But I want you to know that this discovery is due entirely to her. She is the person that, in this regard, went max for Charlie when I missed something. Her email stated, in effect, that I was only partially right about the plane tracking Charlie, that she had done an additional 15 hours of research and was able to discern that the person the planes were actually tracking for years was Erica.
Now, I have so many questions that I know we're not going to get the answers to this on. We have no idea why this Egyptian military plane was in Utah. People have said, well, it could have just been there for some sort of training program or actually get the plane fixed, maintenance issues. That could absolutely be the case. But if it's true, what she's alleging, that they've been able to pinpoint this plane to the same locations as Erica Kirk, then it's extremely fascinating. Again, I don't have any of this vetted, but I bet you by the afternoon episode today, we're going to get more information either from Turning Point USA or otherwise. Could it be easily debunked? The more you listen to, the harder it is to debunk. But again, we're just going to have to give this time.
But isn't that crazy? I don't know about you guys, but if anyone's following Candace, and this story, which I am, I don't always get to see it live, but I catch the replay every day. When you say you start your day and, you have breakfast or whatever, you get your day going, and then somewhere around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, you'd be like, oh shoot, Candace is going to be on tonight. And she left us with a cliffhanger, it's a trip. It's something to look forward to. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm not funny. You're funny. I know. I was trying to, if you guys seen me smiling a minute ago, I was doing screenshots for future thumbnails of like pictures of me because I don't have any good pictures of me. Yeah, I know. I'm crazy. My youngest 10-year-old should have seen him helping me move, making my bed was his top priority. He said it was his hobby. Aw. His hobby. That's funny. Yeah, you know, I have 4 daughters and I have 4 grandkids. Well, one of the grandkids is a step grandkid, but he doesn't have another grandpa, so I'm his grandpa. He calls me cool grandpa because his other grandpa, who's a little bit younger than me, is just an old man. He's just some grumpy old man. I'm like, really? 55? How are you a grumpy old man at 55? But I'm the cool grandpa. I'm the cool grandpa. And yeah. Anyways, yeah, when they tell their friends like, this is my grandpa, they're like, what the hell? That's not what a grandpa looks like. Anyways, what was I saying? What was I saying? Anyways. Oh yeah. So I have grandkids also, and they're all girls. Except for like the step one. All girls in my family. And check this out. My cousin, he has 12 girls. 12. 10 with the same woman. And that all comes from my mother's brother's kid. So from the Romero, I probably shouldn't say my mom's maiden name on live. But from her, that name of the family is like almost all girls from that point on. It's almost like I don't know. It's a trip. It's a trip. It is completely trippy. Yeah. You know, but I have friends who have little boys and, you know, I get to get my little uncle groove on, you know. So that's pretty cool. Shit. Yeah. So anyways, let's watch a little bit more of this and then we'll end it with
Space
this,
to work
guys.
itself out.
Not Charlie, but Erica was the one being tracked by these planes. And indeed, it turns out that she was correct. She discovered that between 2022 and September of 2025, both of those aircrafts, SUBTT, the yellow plane, and SUBND, the blue plane, showed 68 overlaps with Erica's documented locations. Okay. 68 overlaps. I have since been able to add now 73 times that this overlapped. Okay. And
so I'm guessing what the mommy sleuth did was went to every event where she knew where Erica was, Raleigh, North Carolina, Paris, France, wherever the hell. And then after that, I guess logged the flight, you know, the tail number of this plane and tracked where that went and then I mean, this is incredible work if true. And by the way, as far as when I'm recording this video is already hitting 1 million of, you know, views. So there is such an appetite for people. And it really just goes to show, you know, kind of boy who cried wolf as far as our lack of trust in the government right now. It goes to show that there is a demand for people like Candace Owens, whether she's onto something or not, because, you know, we were supposed to say, oh no, trust in the government. They're going to conduct their research. They're going to figure it out. But what did they do with the Epstein files, right? After years of research, they said they got nothing. So, yeah. Okay, you know what? Sometimes you got to show the math and, you know, put it all out there.
29 of those instances also happened to include Charlie. Charlie was also present. And that's what I was stumbling upon when I was looking into this. I was like, why is this plane where Charlie is? The flights were majority clustered within 5 states: Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, Delaware, and Utah. And it's a pattern that she believes is statistically not random. I'm telling you this information has been completely verified. I am showing you this on a spreadsheet now. These are all the instances in which this plane, 68 instances that this plane crossed with Erica.
Now, okay, let's play devil's advocate here. What if, you travel a lot, Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk, they were traveling, doing debates all over, going to colleges that were near major airports. And what if there was a reason why this military aircraft was flying on similar routes and they just crossed each other? Is 68 times a lot over 3 years? You know what I mean? 20 plus times a year, once in 1 to 2 times a month. I'm not sure, but I still find it interesting. It could be a case of confirmation bias that the more you look into things, strange things look strange, but it's really just they're both, going to all of Cincinnati. I don't know, but either way, what crazy work they're doing here.
And I'm also going to say this includes overseas as well. Okay. So my instant question becomes, why didn't Turning Point acknowledge that this plane was familiar to them? When I was taking all of these figurative online bullets, someone could have easily said something, right? That's kind of a repeat thing in this investigation. Josh Hammer lies, I get attacked, Turning Point just stay silent. They know he's lying, but they allow the lie to flow. Alex Clark lies, I get attacked, I'm telling the truth. Turning Point knows it, but they kind of allow this like Catholic thing, lie to flow. And the influencers are allowed to lie. Nobody at Turning Point ever just steps to clarify that I'm onto something or I'm telling the truth about something.
Now, Candace is the top dog in this conservative world now. She's really taken the mark there. Maybe Josh Shapiro, Ben Shapiro. Sorry, Josh. Maybe Ben Shapiro's bigger than her. I'm not really sure, but I think Candace has that. So they're coming for her. She accuses Alex Clark of lying. They've been going back and forth. We got more to get into. I got to pay some bills. Let's pause for some sponsors. We're going to come back and I'm going to share 3 more clips of what Candace had to say. That next. The Rush Hour is sponsored by Masterclass. With Masterclass, care.com for 50% off. So the data is there. This military plane was there the day Charlie Kirk was killed, and it was turned on several minutes after his death. And again, it could be for innocent maintenance, as Candace Owens says, but it could be for something else like private communications.
As follows. On September 10th, on the day of Charlie's assassination, this plane first transponded from 9:05 a.m. plus 36 seconds until it was turned off at 10:34 a.m. and 5 seconds. Then the plane turned back on, the transponder was turned back on just 17 minutes after Charlie was shot at 12:40 p.m. and 53 seconds, and it stayed on until 1:29 p.m. and 40 seconds. So what was the blue plane doing sitting on the tarmac?
Wow.
We can only imagine what it was doing, okay? We can run a couple of options here. It's possible that they were just running a maintenance check. Duncan Aviation does offer maintenance repairs. It's therefore possible.
And by the way, that would be very possible that could be,
Yeah, like, look, I've flown, of course, all over the country and parts of the world. And I mean, at least 3 times we've backed up and pulled back in or got to the end and had to turn around and come back in so they could change a part. Hold on, guys.
what was going on, and this is a whole nothing burger.
And it just chose to run some maintenance checks at an unfortunate time. Okay. Another possibility is that a military jet, particularly one from a foreign country, would likely be equipped with encrypted satellite-based communications capabilities. If you wanted to make an untraceable phone call, as an example, that would be a good place to do so because only the NSA would be able to intercept that call. And it's pretty obvious that the deep state doesn't seem particularly interested in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. So that'd be a safe place to communicate on that plane. Like I said, these are our options. What we can.
Super interesting. Sorry about the interruption. My wife is getting a colonoscopy tomorrow. She probably doesn't want me to tell everyone that, but I just did. And so we have to get Miralax and some other things. So she's all tripping out on it. She can't eat today either. So she's going to be grumpy. Not looking forward to tonight. But N Garza, hey, thank you so much for being a part of the show today and chatting. And Garza says, guys, the security for you. How hard is it to put guys on the roof without anyone knowing? That's right. Just keep watch. Screw permission. The campus was open, so why couldn't y'all be on the roof but open? Yeah, exactly. It was dude's responsibility. He should have did it. He didn't do it. Why didn't he do it? That's the question, right? Why didn't he do it? All right, let's listen to more Candace. Thanks, Garza, and welcome to the show.
Do now, however, is we can add this to our list of verifiable Turning Point USA lies, because I'm going to count this as a lie by severe omission. By keeping your mouth shut and allowing Candace to take all the figurative bullets as she points out the oddity of a plane that you guys recognized. Okay?
No, yeah. So Candace, she's been smeared in multiple ways. She's had her words twisted, distorted to make it seem that she's coming after Erica Kirk. She's just asking a lot of questions. I know the irony of saying that it's so hacked. Well, I'm just asking questions. And she will receive the criticisms from people that say, you're making a fortune on this with your whole following. You could do this privately, X, Y, and Z. But listen, this is the medium that.
Sorry, real quick. And Garza, I think I have it set to subscribers only. Hold on. You don't have to oh wait, no, you're already commenting. I don't know why it says that, brother. Crazy. I'm showing my age too.
At Candace Owens is on. This is where she thrives. She's sharing the math with her audience as she continues to get peppered with accusations online. I gotta give it to her. You know, it takes a hell of a lot of thick skin to deal with that. She also makes claims that someone at Turning Point USA told her on the tarmac. A lot going on the tarmac here. She makes claims that they told her that her life was at risk, and so was Tucker Carlson's, but they didn't say by whom. So again, I'm sure she's not. I'm sure the threats are not new to Candace Owens, but you have to imagine after seeing a cold-blooded assassination like that, the PTSD from the whole country is, some collective therapy we all need, right? But for someone who actually knew him and all of that.
That's an astute observation. It's not just her. It's really the whole country. I mean, look, it's me, it's you guys. It's, it's an enigma that can't be put together and solved yet. But she is truly the only one working towards it, in my eyes, in my opinion.
And it does something very similar like Candace does. Can only imagine. I got a lot of grace for her as she goes through this, and we'll continue to cover it as long as it seems like she's on some sort of path. Later on this afternoon, we'll come back on the podcast and we'll go over what the internet's saying. Generally, how it works is she releases a show, and then if there's any good theories or debunking or things like that, all of that bandwidth has a way of rising to the top. So wild stuff indeed. Now, another conspiracy. Equally as important, but maybe for different reasons, is the Epstein files, right? For several.
Okay, we're not going to get into the Epstein files today. That's too big of a topic. It's huge. Well, guys, it's been so much fun today. I'm so glad everyone came out. It was generally only 10 of you, 13 of you. But thank you for everyone who participated in the chat today. You guys are helping me get my sea legs back to do the show. And I feel confident now. I feel confidence again to get the show back and up and running. I mean, look, we just went two and a half hours pretty easily. I remember I used to do 2 hours every single morning. And towards the end, it got a little to be a little much. It did for me. I was trying to be clever and have clever conversation and all the things, to be as entertaining as possible for you guys. And it was rough, but I think we got a good little kickstart back to the show, and hopefully it continues. I said that after the summer break, when I came back, I was so excited to come back, and I just felt I couldn't accept, you guys. And it was just a lot A lot of chatter in the background. Anyways, I talked about that earlier in the show. But I love you guys so much, and I want you guys to be kind to each other, be kind to yourselves, and just try to have an amazing, amazing day. It was a fun show. Thank you.